Hi, do you have a dripping faucet? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to fix it, whether it's dripping here or around the base of the valve. It's a really simple fix. It'll take you 5 to 10 minutes. So let's get started. First thing you need to do is figure out which side is dripping, whether it's the hot or the cold. And you can do that by turning the water off underneath the sink. I'm going to turn just one of them off. Turn the cold off. And sure enough, it stopped dripping. So we know it's the cold side that we need to deal with. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is turn the water off under the sink on both sides just to be safe. So I've got the hot and the cold turned off. And now we'll take this handle off and then we'll pull the cartridge out and I'll show you what you need to do. Okay, so to remove this handle, what you need to do is find this set screw. But before I do that, I want to close the stopper, and I'm also going to put a towel in here just to make sure I don't lose a spring or a washer or a screw down the drain. Okay, so now right here we're going to pull this little plug out, and there's going to be a screw right in here that uses an Allen wrench, either a 1/16 or 3/32. And you just need to loosen that screw a couple of turns. Let's see if that's enough. Not quite. Okay, so now we've got this off. Okay, so these faucets generally leak from two different places. Either here, the faucet itself, and that would be the washer that needs to be replaced, or they can leak around here. And in that case, it's the O-ring that needs to be replaced. Either way, you've got to pull this cartridge out. So to do that, you need a wrench. And my adjustable wrench doesn't quite work, so I'm going to use channel locks. But I'm also going to protect this from getting all scratched up with a cloth. So you need to take this retaining nut off. And then this cartridge should just pull out. All right. So the washer is down in here, and here is the O-ring. I'm going to get the water out of here so we can see what's going on, and so I can show you what's down in here. Okay, let's take a look down in here. Here you can see the washer, and underneath that is the spring, and you need to take those out. You can use a pair of needle nose pliers, a little dental tool, or something with a hook. I'm just going to use this screwdriver and see if I can pull them both out. Well, I got the washer out. I'm just going to use my needle nose pliers to get the spring out. Okay, so here's the spring. Let me show you something with this spring. It's not significant, but you can see the bottom of this spring is larger than the top of the spring, diameter-wise. So when you put it back in, you want to make sure you put it in that way, with the larger part to the bottom, and you're going to put your washer on the smaller part of the spring. So make sure you don't have it turned the wrong way. So you can buy a repair kit. It has a new cartridge, it has a new washer, a spring, and you can see the O-ring. This costs about $15. Here's what comes in the set. So we're going to put the new spring and washer, but I'm going to reuse the old cartridge because it looks to be in perfect condition. So I've found that the easiest way to do this is to put your washer on a screwdriver. Make sure that the side that with the smaller hole goes on first. That way it will be facing up when you have it installed. And then put the spring on and put the smaller end of the spring on first. And then you'll just put this down in the hole that the spring came out of and slide the spring and the washer off the screwdriver. And they're perfectly positioned. And you should be able to push that washer and it should spring right back up. And if it does that, then you've got it exactly where it needs to be. Okay, then we need to install the cartridge. Let me show you something first. Remember, I said if it leaks around here, it might need a new O-ring. And this black thing is the O-ring. And these are easy to come by, easy to remove and replace. So if it's leaking around here, put a new O-ring on. If it's leaking out the faucet itself, then it needs the washer, which we just put in here. Okay, let me show you one more thing about installing the cartridge. If you look down in here, you can see that that washer is not in the center. It's off to the right. So keep that in mind as I show you the cartridge. When you install this cartridge, you want this solid part, not the side with the two holes, but the solid part to be over the washer. So you want it installed with the solid part facing over here and the holes facing this way. And if you look here, let me zoom in just a little bit. You've got a notch here and you've got a notch here. And if you look at this cartridge, let me get it where the light hits it, you can see that there's a little square notch here and here as well. So again, you want this solid part facing this part. So make sure that this notch goes here, not here. And you'll just slide that down in there. Make sure the notch fits in there. Then you'll just put the retaining ring back on. You normally get it on about 90% of the way just by hand tightening it. And then you'll finish it off with the wrench. Again, I'm going to use my cloth to protect the finish on this retaining nut so I don't scratch it all up. And you want this snug. You don't want it super tight, but you definitely want it snug. I know you can't see it turning, but it is turning inside that cloth. And it's turning pretty easily, so it's far from snug. Okay, now I feel it tightening up. Okay. Okay, that's snug right there. Okay, last thing we need to do is put the handle on. But before we put the handle on, I want to turn the water on, make sure we don't have any leaks. But before I do that, I'm going to clean up any spilled water so I don't get a false alarm. Okay. All right, let's turn on the water now. Okay, I've got the hot and the cold on. You can see there's no drip around here. There wasn't in the first place, so wouldn't expect it there. But after messing with this, you can always cause a leak that wasn't there previously. And we got no dripping going on there. So last thing we've got to do is just put that handle back on. And we'll tighten it with the Allen wrench. Screw snug. Okay, it's on there good and tight. Don't forget to put your plug back in. And this project is done. That's all there is to it. If I didn't spend so much time messing with the camera, I could have had this done in less than 5 minutes. But whether you have a leak from here or around the handle, it's an easy fix. It does require taking that handle off and taking the cartridge out and replacing the washer or the O-ring. It's a really simple do-it-yourself project. I sure appreciate you watching. I hope you've learned something. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.